It's CJ, and today I'm going to be showing you a program called OBS, and I'm going to show you how to apply all of those zero cost filters that are going to help make your audio and your video sound a whole lot better. So the first thing you need to do in OBS is you need to enable your microphone. To do this, we're going to come into settings, we're going to come into audio, and then where this says mic auxiliary audio, select our microphone, and then once we hit apply, you will see the audio has started moving in our audio mixer. That means OBS is picking up our mic and we can start recording with it. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, hey guy, the audio is just as bad here, and it's gonna take us a couple of minutes. We gotta do a lot of things to get the audio sounding better. The first thing I wanna do though, is I wanna put myself on the screen so you feel like we're having a conversation. So I come down here to video capture device. I'm gonna add a video capture device, and there I am. So what we're gonna do is hit OK, and I'm gonna shrink myself down because I don't wanna override the menus, but I am here for you. Now the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to go into our microphone. We are going to hit this cog and we are going to go into filters. Hugely important thing, you need to pay attention to the order of your filters. They do make a difference. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add a little bit of gain to my microphone. The reason why is I'm going to be doing a lot of things, and I want to make sure that I boost my audio before I do those things, and then I'm going to boost it again at the end. I know from previous experience, I want to boost about 5 decibels. The audio changes a little bit, but it still sounds bad. The other thing, I want to do some noise suppression. Try to clean up a little bit of that white noise you're hearing. So I come back into the filters. I add a filter. I'm going to do a noise suppression filter. And I have found that the default of 30 decibels works just fine. If you need to mess around with it a little bit, you go ahead and do that. 30 decibels works for me after lots and lots of screwing around. And you'll notice that when I'm not talking, there's only a little bit of that noise left. Right away, we've only done a couple of things, and we've gone from starting with our microphone like this to bringing it all the way to this in literally 20 seconds. But we're not done. We got a lot to go. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a noise gate. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna stop our mic from keying up from some ambient sounds, like in my case, cats meowing, kids walking down the stairs. Try to keep that mic from triggering. Now, this is gonna be a setting you are gonna have to play with, and I still don't have these settings exactly right. But I am going to be moving into a new location, so I don't want to kill myself getting these right and then move somewhere else and have to do this. But you really want to take the time to make sure this works. Your open and close threshold is how loud do you have to be to trigger your microphone, and then how quiet do you have to be under before your microphone will cut out. I think the 25 millisecond attack time works. I think the 200 millisecond hold time works. I just like to be at about a 250 on my release time. That's what works for me. Now, this isn't going to make a real big change in the audio right now, but it is going to be when you're making content and you're not talking. This one is really important for live streamers because it helps keep the microphone closed. For this next one, I'm going to send you over to a different YouTuber. He goes by Nutty on YouTube. He's actually Nutella Forever on Twitch. He's been helping new streamers tweak their audio and their setups, but he introduced the Reaper plugin. I didn't know about it until then. So that plugin is going to be as a link in the description below. You're going to have to add this on to your OBS. But once you do, you're going to be able to come here and add a VST2 plugin. You're going to be able to come in here to a ReEQ standalone, and Nutty is going to have a set of values that you can put in for yours. His don't work for my voice. So what I've done is I've got a different setup. And if you need my setup, I will be more than happy to share it with you. But I really want you to realize it is going to be voice to voice specific. So follow what he sets up and just realize I don't start at the same values. I do a high pass at the 100 band, and I'm at 1.6, and then my next one is 200, 400, sorry, that's 400. My next one is at 1,000. Now, after you're done with the 4, you have to start adding bands. We're gonna be at 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000. This isn't going to make a lot of sense to you. And this is another one of those things that you probably need to get into and study, because I can tell you to set these values and you're going to be like, but I don't understand. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't understand either. I was fortunate enough. I have a audio engineer in my community. He was willing to share some suggestions. But if you go in and program in the ones Nutty gives you, and you program in the full spectrum of what I give you if you need it, then you probably can get a couple of different samples. And the nice part is, if I close this out, you wanted to have two to compare, nothing stops you from adding in another re-EQ standalone, and you can do a couple of different variables, and then you can play around with them a little bit different. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna finish plugging in my numbers so you can see how that's gonna change my audio when I'm done. So this is the quality I get on my microphone when I have got everything plugged in on that Reaper plugin. And so you're starting to see that for $0, I've taken what was really bad at the beginning of the episode and we've made it better. But we're not quite done yet. We are going to add a compressor. This is more important for live streamers. However, on some videos you get animated or you want to yell and you want to do some stuff. The problem is you want to make sure that you're not blowing out people's eardrums. So you can put in a compressor, and what this is going to do is when you get loud, it is going to reduce the amount of loudness that you have. It's going to help normalize that sound so that you don't blow people's eardrums out. So you can do your compressor in your Reaper plugin as well. And this is going to be another one of those things that you need to figure out where you need to set your numbers. Now, again, Nutty did a great job of breaking all that down, so I'm not going to go into unexplored territory. Besides, I'm still just getting started with making all of these tweaks. I just wanted to show you that for the people that are saying, oh, I can't get started till I can afford a XLR mic and all of the bells and whistles. No, you can get virtual versions of all the bells and whistles from a free program and a free plugin for that program. And the last thing that I do, I add an additional gain at the end of all of that, because all of that starts chopping down your volumes and your levels. And so here at the end, this is basically how my audio gets tweaked in OBS, and as you see, it's been the same microphone the entire time. Now, the same thing is going to work for your camera. You notice that my camera looks a little bit washed out. Now, for our camera setup, I'm going to send you to another YouTube channel. This one is called Gaming Careers, and this guy has set up 30 free LUTs for use in OBS. And in order to get them, you do have to register for his mailing list, but you can register for his mailing list, get your 30 free LUTs, and then unsubscribe from the mailing list right away if you don't want to be signed up for that. The reason why I say this is because you can see this camera here on the screen, and this camera doesn't look as good as it normally does. That's because we got to make a couple of tweaks to it. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go into filters on my video capture device. And just like the other one, the order that we put matters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a LUT off of that list, and the first one I put on is I put on one called Griffith, and I put this one in at about 0.35. And as you can see, that changes it a little bit. If I move over here and I turn it off and I add it on, it cleans up a little bit of it. You'll notice that the picture behind me, you can see these arch strokes here. This is you can see those strokes. When I apply this LUT, you'll see that it kind of like washes that, so those strokes aren't as noticeable. But it's not just about adding a single thing, it's about finding a combination that works. So I also go in and I add a second filter in, or a second LUT in, and I add in McCall at 100%. And there I get that nice, rich tone that I like. I really do like, if you pay attention, the big part of that is if you check out that smile behind me, and I change this filter, you'll notice that when I take this off, it really washes out that background, my Deadpool, the scepter behind me. When I go ahead and I put these LUTs applied, I get like a nice pop on that red. I get like nice crispness on that skull behind me. And that's really the stuff that I'm going for. Plus, I'm pasty white, and I like to try to make sure that, you know, I don't look like this. I like to prefer to look a little bit more toned. Now, big one that you need to keep in mind, I have a horribly colored wall behind me. In an ideal world, I'd have a different colored wall. And in the future, I will have a different studio. So keep that in mind with your setup. And that is it for today. I wanted to show you guys OBS so that you could get familiar with those filters for your audio and your video. I know what you're saying. You're like, that was a lot of information and you sent me to a lot of places. I think if there's resources out there, I'm going to send you to my fellow creators because they've put in a lot of time, effort, and energy. So if we can visit 10, 20, 30 other things early on and pick up 10, 20, 30 tips, that's what this is all about. With that, remember the 3-minute lesson today is going to be on subscribers and really why they don't matter, and just be prepared to have an open mind as we move forward with our content creation success and our YouTube success in 3 minutes a day.